Call to order this May the 25th, 2016 meeting of the Franklin County Commission. Roll call.
Commissioner Waymire?
Here.
Vice Chair Renaud?
Present.
Chair Howard?
Present.
Commissioner Harris? Commissioner Dunn?
Present.
If you'd all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for the invocation that will be led by Reverend Charles Adams.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Gracious Lord, ruler of all, we thank you for those who have accepted positions of authority among us and for the citizens of this county that are guided and blessed by their service. Send your Spirit that they may be high in purpose, wise in counsel, firm in good resolution, and unwavering in duty, that under them we may be governed quietly and peaceably through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend.
You do have Okay, that takes us to correspondence and organizational business. John?
Just a quick note. I appreciate the commissioners' willingness to change the start time, the normal time, on such short notice. Kind of waited till there was, if anybody had any interest in it, and that was done. So I hope everybody. I bought you all breakfast, so I hope you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that.
If you haven't been there, it's a very impressive store. It's excellent for our community, no question. Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, it takes us to public comment. A citizen desiring to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Discussion is limited to 5 minutes, and the commission will not take action or discuss items at this time. Discussion should be limited to matters of county commission business, and public comment is not permitted in regard to personnel matters or on pending legal matters. Items introduced under public comment may become agenda items at a later date.
Susan?
Good morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Susan Rader with the Franklin County Convention and Visitor Bureau, and I just want to tell you all appreciate the time and dedication that you have to our community, and I have really enjoyed my opportunity working at the Visitor Center so far. We have an incredible base of volunteers. It's incredible to me to think how many hours these people dedicate, and we should commend ourselves for the example we're setting for our younger people. So wish you the best, and I know you're busy today, so thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Did they have their cleanup out there this?
We did. We had the Rowdy Wrangler 4-H group come out. They spent over 2.5 hours on Saturday helping out, cleaning, weeding. They were a busy group of wranglers. We found a lot of roly-polies and a lot of worms, which made us very happy. But we really appreciated their time and dedication, and it was great to see them out. And we all had a great time, and it was a beautiful Saturday.
I would like to say that we have all heard comments on the job that you have done out there since you came aboard, and we appreciate what you're doing out there.
Well, thank you. I'm having a great time.
Okay, takes us to the consent agenda. Items that need considered and approved today on the consent agenda are the minutes from the May 18, 2016 commission meeting. There's no claim vouchers, no tax change orders today. We also need to look at 2 emergency vehicle permit applications, one for Paul Scott and the other one for Matthew Scott. They're both with Centropolis Township. With this, I'd look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Renaud?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes. Okay, takes us to items of business. The first item of business will be to consider and approve the purchase of a replacement loadout weight scale at the transfer station. John?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Go ahead. Hi, John.
Solid Waste Department is in need of a replacement scale to replace the transfer station pit scale. The scale was installed at the time of the construction of the transfer station building and has collapsed due to rust beyond repair. The scale is no longer usable. After discussing this matter with staff and the administrator, we're requesting authorization for the purchase of a replacement scale for the transfer station. We've requested quotes from 3 local companies, 2 of which have responded with their quotes. We reviewed those quotes, we attached those quotes, and basically the solid waste department is just asking for a motion to approve the purchase of a Rice Lake OTR series scale from WH Scale Company as quoted, to be purchased with funds from the solid waste budget.
What's the cost of the scale?
As quoted was $49,375.
How long have we known this may be coming up?
We didn't. We started having serious problems with the scale that we had. Upon doing inspections, we found that it was underneath of it and rusted out. And so we didn't know that it was in the shape that it was in.
It's a pretty good chunk of change there. That's not going to affect it's budgeted for there.
This would come out of every year that we put a sizable amount over into the solid waste equipment reserve fund, and so there is a substantial amount of money over there to cover this, and so we would be taking it out of reserve funds for this. That is the reserve fund that we use to cover track loader and backhoes and different things like that.
Of course, that particular enterprise fund, which comes from profit from the landfill,
Yes,
by statute,
no tax dollars.
by
It's-
statute
right.
can't be used for anything else either, other than
Right.
that facility. So that's not competing with private. As I remember, when we replaced the main scale at the scale house a few years ago, this one was brought up that there were 2 in the pit, but they're not trade scales. They're there just so the operator can basically know about how much
Right,
is on
so
the
just-
truck before he sends it off onto the road.
Right.
And
And we're doing
cost.
a minor variation to the type of scale that's under there. We're saving a little bit of money. Instead of doing a full-length scale, which we don't really need down there,
Just need it where
we're just going to have a scale in the front, a scale in the back, concrete in the middle. And it should last long. I mean, this scale here lasts about 21 years.
As I remember, we talked about it. We kind of knew about it then, but we're just going to let them until they quit working because they weren't critical to operations. They're needed, but not like the scale house is.
Roy, anything? Anybody have any more questions for John? If not, would look for a motion to approve the purchase of a replacement loadout weight scale at the transfer station.
Yes. So moved.
Sorry.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Commissioner Renaud?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes. With that, item number 2, the approval of rezoning application 1603-1384 to rezone approximately 6.73 acres from an A1 agriculture to a R3 residential zoning district. Larry.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. As you've indicated, this is a request to rezone approximately 6.5 acres from the agricultural zoning district to the residential estate zone. The purpose for this rezoning is to allow the division of the existing single-family residence and farm buildings to be separated from that agricultural land for sale. Mr. Dunbar has had this property surveyed, and we feel that the resulting tract will comply with all of the requirements of our comprehensive plan and zoning regulations, as well as subdivision requirements. The Planning Commission considered this application at their last meeting and have forwarded a recommendation to the County Commissioners to approve the rezoning request. I have nothing further to add unless any of you have questions.
I have no questions. Pretty straightforward. We've done several of these, and
If you're not familiar with where that property is, it's there on fronts on the 59 highway, just south of the curve as you're coming north from Richmond, between Richmond and Princeton.
Make a motion to approve this request.
okay, have a motion to approve the rezoning application 1603-1384. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Janet?
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Renaud?
Yes.
Chair Howard?
Yes. Move that sign to Janet's name. Okay, with that, takes us to staff reports. Sean?
Commissioners, I handed you a budget schedule to start on, I believe it's the 16th of Thursday, the 16th of June. We'll have our first day of budget meetings. Second day we'll follow up on Friday and try to be done by about noon on that day. The first day is an all-day thing, and then from there we'll be planning the follow-up to work out any details and bring back the issues as far as where we are actually landing with the levy. I plan on doing that on the week of the 27th through the August 1st, or excuse me, July 1st, to have that meeting there where we make any changes that needs to in the budget after we find out know exactly what the tax levy is going to be. Last year that is a change. I want to make sure that we come forward with that before we do in August. For finalizing the budget, I want to make sure that we have that discussion before that meeting. So I'm scheduling that again through the 27th through the 1st, and as soon as we get that done, I'll let you know on that. Second thing is just a reminder that the employee barbecue is on the 10th, and Memorial Day is this coming Monday. That is a day that we would have a study session, so I was wanting to reschedule the study session, and we can do that either Tuesday or just make it Wednesday to start out a study session on Wednesday before we move to a regular session, if the board has a preference.
I just shouldn't do it on Wednesday before the regular meeting if we're going to do it.
That works for me.
All right, we will do that then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. John, you have anything else from your department?
Yeah. Back on last Wednesday, Kansas Department of Health and Environment come out for their annual comprehensive site assessment and site compliance, non-compliance check, and just want to let you know that we had no issues. One concern, and the only concern was the litter, which we're addressing with the temporary hires that we're working on right now. So I just want to let you know that everything went good with that inspection.
Good. Sheriff?
I'm sure each of you are aware we had the sentencing on Kyle Flack last week. He's no longer in county custody. He was delivered down to El Dorado. I have compiled the overtime hours for the court process for that. I've talked with John. I know where I need to get those sent, and we'll highlight those, I believe, a little bit later. But just so that you know, we had almost 300 hours that were worked by our volunteers. And so our reserve and posse units both were very beneficial for us and saved us quite a bit of money on that. Starting in May of 2014, the government started tracking local arrests of ISIS individuals in the United States. Yesterday was the 101st. Yesterday morning they made the 101st intervention and the 87th arrest of a naturalized citizen in the United States. It is a ISIS fighter. I bring that up because a few months ago I had mentioned that the Kansas Islamic Center, or the Islamic Center of Kansas, is building a new campus just up the road. At that time, I had encouraged you all to reach out to your counterparts in Johnson County at the county commission to see if there was something that could be done on about that. I don't know if any of that has happened. The reason I bring it up is because yesterday one of the other ISIS leaders had reestablished the fact that he's put it out the call that any of their people they are calling on them to make attacks in the United States, and that there are no innocent people in the United States. As we have seen the trend across our country, a lot of these people have ties with the different Islamic centers, and we are right in the middle of two, with one in Emporia and one in Overland Park, and now they're going to be building a second large one in Overland Park. I think this is a serious threat to us potentially, and I just want to make sure that we are aware of it, because if the government leaders aren't going to talk about it, then I don't see how anybody else is going to, and how it's going to get fixed. But I do think it's a serious threat that we need to be considering, and if we're not aware of it, then there's no way we're going to defend it. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Dustin.
Just wanted to go ahead and update the commission this morning on the status of the enterprise software project that we began in January of 15, sent out RFP requests in the fall of 15. We were hoping to be farther along earlier in the process, but we are at a point now that staff has decided it's in the best interest of the county not to accept any of the proposals that we did receive. We've reviewed those. We've gone through several of them. One of the three we felt did meet the majority of our concerns. However, it was not fiscally responsible to move forward with that proposal. The other primary contender of the proposals that we received, we did not feel addressed enough of the issues that we currently have with our system, and could not justify spending the money to make a lateral move in software. So really with that, we're resetting the project a little bit, going back and reviewing what our needs and our wants are, and kind of starting fresh on this, and probably will not be expecting to see much change on this project for another 12 to 18 months pretty easily, maybe longer than that.
So the software we currently have in all departments are sufficient and whatever?
I won't go that far.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far, because we wouldn't have asked to send out a request for proposals if we felt that it was sufficient. It is really a system that is difficult for staff to use. However, we feel that we're in a better position to continue to work with a known issue than go into an unknown that we don't feel addresses our concerns.
Somebody else will be a guinea pig in the next 12 months and help us out.
I'm pretty certain they're going to.
Commissioner Renaud, just for kind of your information, is that the system that we're currently using was purchased 15, 20 years ago, maybe a little longer. It's based on old AS400 technology, the old green screens, that sort of thing. And so we're still using that. At some time, Thomson Reuters will get to a point where they will no longer service that. We don't know how long that's going to be, and so it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. The concerns that came back where, and again, and this kind of goes to what I've talked about before, we're at a point where we're really going to need to start stepping up in the level of analysis that we're doing on our budget and our expenditures. We are really, really hampered in that, using that system at this time. It's pretty burdensome to do that. We can continue operations right now, that's not a problem, but as things go on, knowing that this software has a sunset, plus what our needs are going to be as we continue to move forward, it's going to have to be addressed at some time. And we just have to balance that with what we know, what is financially feasible for us. And that's kind of...
I'm sure there's some man hours and costs to do that would be taken care of with a new system.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you're saying, hey, we can go out and buy it, but it's not gonna do it, so why spend that? I agree with
It comes
that.
down to cost, and right now, there's other things that we're needing to get done where we're having to focus on that. And we have a pretty big obligation out with the industrial park that's going to take a good amount of our resources, and some of these other things are just not feasible right now.
Thank you.
Janet?
The filing deadline is next week, June 1st, and both our commission seats have been refiled for. So thank you for bringing your paperwork in. But we still have lots of committee people for both the Republican and Democratic Party that need to be filled. So we're taking paperwork for those two, and any other positions, definitely township positions. We've got lots of things going. So if you know somebody is interested in some public service, they can stop by and see what's available. Rick's seat and Roy's seat. So
And they
it's the
have both?
second and third, right? Is that right, Roy?
I'm second, yes.
You're second, you're third, right?
And they've both now refiled?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Anything else?
When's the deadline to change affiliations, party affiliations?
That is June 1st also at noon. So if you're currently affiliated with a party and you would like to change to the other party, then you have to do that by June 1st. If you're unaffiliated, you can still go to the polls on primary election day and affiliate at the polls. You just can't switch from one party to another. Then that used to be up till like 20 days before the election that you could do that. But the new law that went into effect last year says that June 1st is the deadline now to do that.
With that, we go to commissioner comments and board reports. Roy, you want to start?
Yeah, I just got an email yesterday from Elizabeth Maxwell at the Area Agency on Aging, and are looking at a bigger cut funding from the state for services to the elderly, and they were expecting a $250,000 reduction, but it's a little over $2 million reduction. So they're going to have to reevaluate. This is statewide money, and they're going to have to reevaluate their budget to see how that's going to affect their budget. Also, I might want to say that the Memorial Day services conducted by the Veterans Organizations of Ottawa, the American Legion, VFW, and the Vietnam Veterans is going to be Saturday morning at 10 o'clock out at the VFW Hall. They changed it from the memorial down at the courthouse because of pending bad weather that morning. So it's going to be at 10 o'clock on Saturday, and it's going to fall with a lunch for everybody, and everybody's welcome. You don't have to be a veteran or anything like that. It's open to the public, and I'd like to see the public being there.
The hospital groundbreaking, which a lot of you attended, so that's hardly news. Ground was broke, words were spoke. It was a nice ceremony.
Nothing. I haven't had any meetings since last year.
I've also not attended a meeting since our last meeting. One quick question. If we're going to do a study session ahead of the regular meeting on June the 1st, are we going to start it at 8:30, or do we need to be here earlier? So
I would say
8:30, okay. Okay. Anybody have anything else? If not, would look for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Have the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned.